What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We gotta do some work on my wife's first gen here. In the last episode, you guys seen us. We made really good progress on the twin turbo C10 project. We're getting really close on that deal. Still got just a few things to button up on it before we can finally take it on its first test drive, but we're gonna be getting there soon. So this week we're getting my wife's truck ready to go to rod runs. We always go down to rod runs in Pigeon Forge for our wedding anniversary trip. I know I probably got the best wife in the world that allows us to take a trip to a car show for our wedding anniversary, but we do it every year. So unfortunately over the weekend she was driving this truck and transmission started acting up in it. So we've got it out here and we're gonna see if we can't figure out what's going on with this transmission today. So a little backstory, I don't know if I've ever showed y'all this truck or not, but I built this truck for her going on right at 5 years now. About 5 years ago I built this truck for her, and this is her dream truck. She always dreamed of having a first gen, especially one that was purple, and I was able to make this come to fruition for her. So this is one of my greatest achievements by all means. This truck was lime green, had been wrecked in the front end, had baby blue interior that someone had painted with a house roller. It was just absolutely ugly. So I built this truck pretty much by myself from the ground up. I had a little bit of help from friends, and she helped me out when she could. I tore this truck all the way down to the frame, put it all back together piece by piece. Me and my dad painted it. We did all the body work, did all the paint work. This body is far from perfect. If you catch it in the right light, you'll see that there's some dings and dents that we missed. Some of the gray has some tiger striping in it, but no big deal. It's as nice as it needs to be, in my opinion. This week we are gonna redo the door panels, and we're gonna put a headliner in the truck if I can get this transmission figured out. So this truck's got a P-pump 12 valve in it. Come out of a 96 model 3500 that we bought, and we parted out to be able to put the motor and transmission in this one. It's got a 47 RE transmission. What happened yesterday was she was leaving a friend's house. She wasn't on it hard or nothing, and she was climbing a hill. It shifted into second, and before it got out of second, it ended up slipping in second. She had let out the throttle because as soon as it slipped, she knew something was wrong. She let out the throttle, it went ahead and shifted into third, and then she cruised on through town and everything seemed fine. When she got to the next red light and she stopped, it downshifted to first and would not come back out of first. It was stuck in first, and it's making a clicking noise inside the transmission. So let me show you guys what that sounds like real quick. Okay, so now that y'all have heard what that sounds like, I'm suspecting a front band issue. I'm not really positive on that. I tore this transmission, well, I actually took the valve body out of this transmission years ago to do some upgrades to it. Was gonna do things like billet servos and billet front band, apply lever and strut and anchor and stuff like that. Well, when I got in there, all that stuff had already been done, if I remember correctly. I know a lot of the stuff had already been done, but I just can't fully remember if it did in fact have a billet front band, apply lever and strut and anchor or not. I can't fully remember. I don't even remember if I pulled the valve body out of it. I would assume I did, but golly, man, I might have left it in and maybe tried to just look up in there. I can't really remember, but I don't know. I'm thinking it's a band issue, especially based on the noise and the fact that it won't come out of first. So we're gonna get this thing tore down here and see what we can find real quick. Okay, so I actually just recently, last week actually, took the pan off, welded in a drain plug, installed this temp sensor over here just so we could keep an eye on everything, and I actually put a reusable gasket in here which is still leaking even though it's torque to spec. We've got an issue with the pan up here which you can't really see. Let's see if I can get some light on it. We've got a little bit of an issue with the pan, I believe, because it's still seeping out from around that gasket. I have had nothing but issues out of this transmission pan leaking since the day we put this truck together. So we're going to get this pan ripped off really quick and see what we find. Okay, so we got the pan off, and here's what we got. So this is the front. Let's see if I can get you guys in there. This is the front servo. This is the apply piston that applies the front band.
And I don't know if y'all can see, but we have some kind of issue because that should not be loose and floppy like that. I would assume it broke the band, I would assume. Don't know and won't know till we get up in there. The anchor is still in place over here. I don't know if you guys can see it. You probably can't. But the anchor is still in place, so it's not fell out yet. At least I don't think. Maybe it did fall out. Who knows? And another thing that you want to look at is this is the adjustment up here for this bolt up here with the lock nut on it. This is the adjustment for the front band. And we still have some threads sticking out, so I probably should have checked the adjustment on this band at some point in its life, and I don't think I have. So that probably didn't help us. So let's go ahead and get this valve body out and see what we find. Okay, so real quick, we've got the filter removed, and to get this out, you've got to remove your shift linkages up top here. So take your TV cable linkage off and take your shift linkage off. And now at this point, we should be able to take the 10 valve body bolts out that hold this valve body in place, drop it down. We'll have to kind of finesse the park rod out, and we'll have to finesse the electrical connector out of the case up there, but everything should come out fairly easy. Well, just as we suspected, it broke the band. I believe it broke the rivets right here on this strap, kicked it sideways into the drum. That was the clicking noise we was hearing. But overall, everything looks good. Looks like there's still plenty of material, best I can tell, left on that band. I think I could be wrong. We'll know when we get it out. And I'm going to go ahead and do a slip-in band. I know there's kind of mixed emotions on those, but for the most part, I think it'll be fine. This truck's just barely got the fuel turned up just a little bit. It's nothing too crazy. So we're going to go ahead and do a slip-in band on this one, which I'll have to order. I don't have one here or nothing. All right, guys. It's the next day. We got us a band, and we picked us up a band today from Whatever It Takes Transmission in Knoxville. We've got it soaking in some fluid here. We're going to go ahead and get the truck sent up on the lift and get this new band installed. Okay, guys, so to get this slip-in band, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut this, which I'm probably just going to try and break this or slice it right here, but we're going to have to cut this end off because this won't slip between the case. So we're going to whack this off, but once we whack it off, we're going to tie a piece of string or wire through here, and we're going to pull that wire over through with it, and then that way once we get it through, we're going to tie that wire to our new band and slip her back in. Alright guys, so we got that slipped out. Here's the band, and man, this band looks really good. It's got a ton of meat left on it. It's got a lot of material, and hopefully this is a sign of the health of the transmission, because this band looks really good. So we've got our wire right here. We're going to go ahead and get our new slip-in band and see if we can't get it slipped in place. I've not done one of these slip-ins before, but I've seen online that it's best to go from the driver's side in, so we'll see if that's true or not. Alright, so we ended up having to take it back out, and we had to grind some down on this lip. It was just way too big. There was just no way to get it around there. There ain't much slip into this band. So we're going to try again here with it massaged down just a little.
See it up there?
No, but we are really close. That's further than we ever made it. It's just slightly bound up somewhere.
There it is. Reach over the hook and grab it, pull it down.
So the slip-in band works if you modify it just ever so slightly. Oh, there it is. Damn, Dad, why didn't you recommend that to begin with? Okay.
Where's your phone back?
We got it. So yeah, on the thin side, go in through the passenger side. Put it in through the passenger side first. And don't force it. And on the thinnest part of the BAM, just take it, I mean, ever so slightly, the smallest amount of material. I just 45'd it a little and then knocked it down so it was deburred. And then it slipped right in, man. Me and Dad have fought that thing for the last 45 minutes. So now we're gonna go ahead and get our anchor put back in right here. And the strut's gonna go over here. And we're gonna start putting this thing back together. So we got it back in, adjusted. It's 72 inch-pounds, and then back it off 1 3/4 turns, and tighten your jam nut up. So we're gonna put the valve body back in. Make sure you put this spring back in, because that's where it goes. So just make sure you get that back in. All right, guys, valve body's in, and so now we've got to torque all the valve body bolts to 100 inch-pounds. And a little trick to help get the park pin back into place is to roll the truck back and forth while you're holding the rod up, and it'll kind of fall into place. It was fighting us a little bit. Okay, got the filter installed, got the pan installed, and now you torque your pan bolts to 13 foot-pounds. Okay, we got everything buttoned up underneath. So now we gotta put fluid in it. So let's get some fluid gathered up here. Okay, so little trick some people that build some transmissions are gonna tell you is, I run high guard in my transmission. I run a 50-50 mix, and you can use, a lot of people use just universal tractor hydraulic oil. It has the highest friction coefficient, so it's gonna hold the best. But it's thicker, so you got to keep that in mind. It's going to bump your line pressure up. And Type F has the highest friction coefficient out of other ATFs, I believe, if I remember correctly. ATF plus 4 is one of the lowest. Dexmark is just a smidge better, I think, not a ton, but it is a little better. So I use a 50-50 mix of the John Deere High Guard, which is some of the best on the market in my opinion, and I run it 50-50 with Dexmark, which that's just because that's what we keep cheap in the bag boxes. You can go a little thinner than 50-50 if you want, just to kind of keep your line pressure down. I think some of the race guys run full strength high guard. I could totally be wrong on that though, don't quote me. All right, guys, we got it done. Me and Dad took it up the road, took it for a test drive. Shifts great through all the gears. So that was a successful repair, and I'm very thankful for that. That's a blessing that that's all that was wrong with it for now. I know it's an automatic Dodge, it'll go out again, but
Maybe not. So we checked the line pressure. I didn't get any of that on video. I do apologize. It's getting really late and I'm just trying to get home. So I may go through line pressure stuff at a different time. I'm no expert by any means, but I think I could probably put out some really good insight on it. My line pressure was 145, 150 PSI through all the gears in the higher RPM range. So I'm pretty happy with that. If you go much more than about 165 or 170, you start to risk blowing out some pistons. So you really don't want to do that, blowing out seals and stuff. So I really think, you know, 140 to 150 is really the sweet spot, and that's quite a bit more than what stock is. So the good thing about upping the line pressure is that allows you to hold more horsepower through those frictions and through those clutch packs. So this thing's done for now. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna get some rest. Stay tuned next time for the next episode, because we're gonna get inside this truck and we're gonna finish the interior up, and it's gonna be a pretty good episode, I believe, because this truck has got a lot of things going on with the interior that need to be buttoned up and fixed, and I really hope we're gonna make it super nice. So stay tuned for the next episode, guys.